and welcome back to my channel. It's your girl Kayla.K.Keane, and thank you all so much for joining me live at such short notice. Now, I had told you guys that I was going to come live next week. Things happened, so I'm live now. I wasn't even going to come live this evening, but I saw that you guys were talking in the comment section, and then I was like, oh my god, you guys are waiting on me, so I have to go live. So I literally just jumped out of bed and decided to just do it anyway. Anyhow, thank you guys for joining. I see I already have 3 of you on here. So tonight the format is I want to take as many of your questions as possible. So please just go ahead and start asking your questions in the comment section. If it is your first time here, I'm a finance and real estate YouTuber. And for those of you who have been wondering, oh my god, I already have like 14 persons watching. Thank you guys for coming, although I was a little late. So what I was saying now is, let me just join on my other device so I can catch your questions and then answer them as quickly as possible. Right, so for those of you who have been wondering, one, why have I been MIA? As I said in a previous video, I've been MIA because I'm working on some personal goals that are very important to me. And of course, I have to be very sure that I am working on things that are important to me at this stage in my life. I'll tell you guys about some of them. Some of them have actually come to pass. Thanks be to God. So I'm thankful for that. But there are some other long-term goals that I'm working on. So if I'm not live streaming or posting as frequently, that is the only reason. But thank you guys for remaining faithful nonetheless. Now I see the comment section flying up, so let me just answer as quickly as I can. So Kimara, thanks for joining, Kimara. She says hi. Oh, she was asking what time I'll be starting. Kick Rock says, can you please advise where and which site do we go to obtain our credit report? All right, so there's a credit report site that's called CRIFT, C-R-I-F-T. That's one place that you can go to obtain a credit report. And remember, if you're Jamaican, you are entitled to a whole credit report every year. One credit report free of cost every year. So if you're also here but you didn't ask that question, but you're interested in finding out that, that would be important for you. C-R-I-F-T, Kick Rocks, CRIFT, C-R-I-F-T. Let me just double check it on my thing to make sure that I'm telling you the correct spelling. So they'll do it for free. And as I said before, everyone is entitled. Yes, it's C-R-I-F, right? CRIF Credit Bureau. So just go ahead and type that in. Then you can look for them on Monday, and then you can get your free credit report from them, all right? So just go ahead and do that. All right, let me see the other questions now. For those of you who are new, if you haven't subscribed as yet, please go ahead and do so. What I'll be doing this evening, since I haven't been with you guys in such a long period of time, I'll be taking all your questions. So anything you want to know about finance and real estate, just go ahead and ask it. That's predominantly what I deal with. Yes, Kick Rock Script, you're welcome. That's predominantly what I deal with on my channel. So just go ahead and ask all your questions. I'll answer them as best as possible. If it is something that I can't answer right now, what I'll do, I'll create a video just for you to help you to understand what it is that you want to know about. By the way, guys, you know, I wasn't going to go live, and I was just lying down, relaxing, having a nice Sunday evening. And I said to myself, oh my God, you guys are waiting on me. So that's why I actually decided to just get up and come live. So that's why I just literally got up and did it. All right. So I answered. Oh, Crift has another. Kick Rocks has another question. Can you please advise where and which site? Okay, I answered that question already. Keon Lawrence, sorry, says hi. Why house price so high in Kingston? All right. Keon, that's a very good question. Now, we have to remember that with everything. I see Janice joining. Hi, Janice. Thanks for joining. Thanks for joining, everybody. Um, a lot of persons have been asking, why is it that real estate price is so high in Jamaica in general? It's not just Kingston. But real estate price is going up for the entire island. Actually, real estate prices are high, and that's because of a multiplicity of reasons. There are a lot of reasons why real estate prices are so expensive in Jamaica. And if you think about it, it makes perfect sense because, for example, you already know that real estate around the world is actually going up. So it's not a thing that is unique to Jamaica. But also remember that Jamaica is a rich historical country that people value highly. There are some larger countries in the world in terms of kilometers and land mass that do not have the clout and attract the attention that countries that are as small as Jamaica has. And that's because we have a rich cultural history. When you think about reggae music, Bob Marley, Usain Bolt, there are so many reasons why people love Jamaica and would love to own a home in Jamaica. Now, when you think about real estate, it is not just you and I that live in the country that that have an interest in owning real estate here. We're competing against persons all over the world that want to live in Jamaica. So think about it. Let's say Janice lives in England, right? Janice is earning in pound. I am still earning in Jamaican dollars. But Janice wants a property in Jamaica. Now, if you tell her that that property costs, let's say 30 million Jamaican dollars, if you do the equation, you'll find out that in pounds, that's really not a lot of money. And she probably couldn't get a house in the UK for that money. So she'll be more inclined to purchase here. So we're competing with persons who are earning better currencies. Jamaica is already iconic and historic. There is Airbnb that is booming, so persons are buying properties to put in Airbnb. All of those factors, plus the law of supply and demand. Obviously, where there's a high demand for a commodity, then the price can go up more easily because that's just the law of supply and demand. So that's just to answer your question, Kayon. I'm going back to the comment section. If you're just joining, thanks for joining. And as I said before, just go ahead and ask your questions in the comment section. All right, so Yvonne Morris Minot says, what are the procedure when purchasing a house cash? All right, Yvonne, thanks for your question. When you're trying to buy a house cash, it's actually easier than when you're welcome, Kayon. It's actually easier than trying to purchase through the bank. So when you're purchasing cash, the first step you'll need, similar to persons who are going to purchase using the bank, you'll need an attorney. I wouldn't advise anyone to try and buy a house in Jamaica without the help of an attorney. And I've always said before, if you need a good attorney, just go ahead and DM me. I told you guys before, don't just follow me on YouTube, follow me across platforms. All my social media names are the same. So it's Kayla.K.Keane here. It's the same thing on Instagram, same thing on TikTok. So if you just screenshot it, you can find me across platform. The reason why I said that is you might not want to ask a question under the comment section publicly, but you can DM me on Instagram and I'll tell you certain things. But yes, so if you need a lawyer, just DM me on Instagram. I'll send you a good lawyer if you want to purchase a house and you don't have a lawyer. But what I was saying is that, yeah, so if you're purchasing cash, to answer Yvette's question, I think it was Yvette's question, what you need to do is to get a lawyer, number one, and secondly, when you have a lawyer, they will just walk you through the steps. So when you're purchasing cash, it's actually very easy. You know, you'll regularly have, so when you're not purchasing with cash, you're using the bank, then you'll only pay your closing costs, and then the bank will take care of everything else except you'll have bank processing fees to pay also. So what you need to do if you're purchasing cash, you pay your attorney. Usually sometimes they'll take half of the money that they need from you up front, and then they'll take the other half when they're handing over the keys to you. So you'll pay the attorney for the for the first half. That's how your attorney operates, and then you simply pay your closing costs and all of the other fees associated with it, and that's it. It's actually pretty easy to purchase with cash. It takes way less time than if you were going through the bank. So first step for you, Yvette, you need to get a lawyer, and your problem is basically solved after that, because all you'll be doing is waiting until it's time to do the next payment. They'll tell you how to proceed with each payment. So I see Antoinette is asking, any fixer-upper for 6 to 7 million? No. And sometimes you guys ask about fixer-upper for some prices that are very low, and you guys know that I try as best to give you the best prices. So if I see houses that are really affordable, maybe that's one of the things you have come to know me for. I'll try to find the houses that are very affordable, and then I'll try to post about them. So if I see those types of properties, I'll post about it. But those properties are not the easiest to come by. So when I see them, I'll post them. All right. But for now, no, I'm not seeing anything in that price range. And as think it was Kayan asked earlier, prices for real estate in Jamaica have significantly gone up. Sophia says, hi Kayla, what is the first step? What first step do you take when you're buying land in Jamaica? All right, Sophia, thanks for that question. And similar to the person who asked earlier about buying cash in Jamaica, buying properties cash, if you're trying to buy land in Jamaica, first of all, do you know the parcel of land that you want to buy, or is it that you are just wanting to familiarize yourself with the process overall? If it is that you just want to familiarize yourself with the process overall, the similar thing that went for the person who was asking about cash purchase would go for you. So what you need to do, you need to get a lawyer. And guys, as I've said before, and I will always say this, do not, and I repeat, do not try to purchase real estate in Jamaica without the help of an attorney, okay? It simply will not work in your favor. And take my advice. And I know that there's another option of using the vendor's attorney, that is using the attorney of the person from whom you are buying the property. That, my friend, is not advised. Because, for example, if there's an issue with the title, say there was a breach of the covenant or anything like that, they might not be the ones to be quick to point that out to you, because the attorney might be a little bit unscrupulous and just simply wants to make as much money as they can, okay? So please do not go with the option of using the vendor's attorney. You need to get your own attorney to protect your interests. So you spot a piece of land that you want to buy. First step, get an attorney. Second step, the attorney will help you to connect with the vendor of that property. Or if it's a case where, say, they listed the land, so it's not just you searching. If it's a case where they listed the land for sale, then what you can do is call the realtor, the real estate business, or the realtor who is selling the property, and then let them know that you have an interest. You will need your pre-approval from the bank if you're going through the bank, and if you're using NHT, you'll also need your pre-approval from the NHT. But since the pandemic, they've actually made it easier, so now it's like a one-stop shop when all you really need to do is to go straight to the bank. You don't have to go through NHT anymore. Well, you don't have to go to NHT anymore. So the bank will do all the legwork for you and provide a pre-approval amount that shows you both the NHG portion and the bank's portion. So that's how you do that. So once you get that, now if you're going to go through the bank, then your attorney will advise you what to do when, but ensure that you have at least 10% of the money for the cost of the property saved up so that you can foot the closing costs. Now, let me hasten to tell you, and this is something that I really want to talk to you guys about. Now, generally speaking, you advise persons to save 10% of their closing costs. So let's say, for example, you are buying a property for $20 million, right? You need to save 10% of that closing costs. Working with me? So somebody, I want to ensure that you guys are listening. Tell me how much percent of $20 million is 10%. How much is 10%? How much of 20 million is 10%? Tell me in the comment section, because I want to ensure that we're all on the same page. And seeing that you guys cannot join the live and interact with me, that's what we're going to do. All right. So Kayan says $2 million. Correct. All right. So you save up your $2 million because you need a $20 million property. Now, this is traditionally what we tell people to do, save up your 10%. However, there are so many fees associated with buying real estate in Jamaica that if you actually save up your 20%, your 10%, you are going to have a serious issue. All right. So you're wondering, but me save so much money, what could the issue be? The problem with buying real estate in Jamaica is that there are a lot of costs that nobody tells you about. And I mean, it's not all of us grandparents did own house and did go buy a house through NHT and all these things. So we don't know the little stories. By the way, let me know if my audio is clear because I'm trying to use my cordless mic and it's the first time I'm using it live. All right, just let me know if you guys hearing me good and everything. Right, so as I was saying, no, so I said save up your $2 million and you save up your $2 million and you're ready. You can't wait to see the property that worth $20 million and now you're excited. So now imagine now you find the land that you want to buy, you find the property that you want to buy, and your lawyer say, all right, I want to charge you $500,000 for my attorney fee, right? And then you have to pay up all your other fees. So you go ahead and you pay that now and you pay everything that you need to pay. Now, when you go to the bank, say you got only your 6.5 from the NHT, so now you're going to have to pay the remainder by a loan. The bank, my friends, will charge you processing fees that nobody tells you about. Your realtor not going to tell you about it. Your attorney will not tell you about it. So that's why I'm telling you about it. So what you need to do is, if you know that it's $2 million you need to save at least an extra $500,000. If you can save an extra $1 million, that would be awesome. But I know how things are. So if you can save up an extra 500,000, do that. All right, guys, and trust me on this one. Furthermore, remember, when you buy a property, the property might not be in tip-top shape, because if you buy a property for $20 million, for example, there's a high chance that, the property might need a little fix-up. Especially the ladies, you want paint over your house, you want probably add a little, some black height to the wall. You probably want to change out your grill. You probably want to put in an electronic grill. All the nice things. You want to fix up your place and do some landscaping and make your place nice. So when you pay all of this money as closing costs, you're not going to have any money left if you have not saved any extra money. You know what I mean? So that's very important. But for all of you on here though, most importantly, and something I want you to remember and to keep in mind, once you plan to buy real estate, save and save some more, because trust me, nobody don't complain about having extra money. You know what I mean? Especially when you're doing business. So if it is that you have an extra $1 million, it will go a far way. Well, maybe not such a far way, but it will help you to feel more comfortable when the time comes. Additionally, I know some of you are on here and you're probably looking for a house a long time and you're probably a little frustrated. So I want to take this opportunity to just encourage you to be strong and know that anything you put your mind to and anything that God is in, it will work out for you. So stop worry yourself and say, oh, I wanted to do this from so long and I can't afford it and it look like this thing is not for me. Don't take that mindset. You have to be positive about it and just know that things will work out eventually. All right, so I see. Mikey T was saying, please inform your viewers that having 10% cash for the value of the property that they'll need to, that won't be enough. Yes, so that's what I just did. Thank you. Right, I hope it didn't freeze the live. Keon now is saying, need a house in Pembroke between 20 mil and 27 mil. Need it in good condition. Keon, follow me on Instagram and DM me. I think I saw a house the other day. I'm not sure if it is gone or not. But what I'll do, I'll just send it to you on Instagram. So just follow me on Instagram and send me a DM, all right? Keon McKnight says, any fixer upper in Portmore for 10 mil? No, Keon, I haven't seen any of those. Sophia said, I thank you, Kayla, you're welcome. I guess everybody was trying to say 2 million is 10% of 20 million. Keon is saying need 4 million instead. So I guess he was trying to say that if it is that you find out that you'll need 2 million for your closing costs, you need to be having a ballpark figure of 4 million in mind, and that's not a bad idea. That's a very good idea. As I said before, nobody ever complains and say, oh, I have too much money. I want to buy the house and I have too much money. No, but you can have too little money. And guess what, guys? Remember, if you're taking a loan from the bank to buy a property, so you need to have your closing costs, and then you are going to expect the bank to foot the other part of the bill that you cannot manage, right? So at that time, you literally probably be in a crunch to get money. So you don't want to leave yourself open to when the time come. And for example, the bank, all right, so you pay your closing costs, you pay your attorney, and now the bank is ready to give you the loan, right? The bank is going to say to you, Mr. McKnight or Miss Lawrence, you now need $500,000 for the loan processing fee. Just for them to actually, like literally, you have to find $500,000 out of pocket for what? God, he knows. But it's no similar to when you're buying cars, for those of you who have bought cars before. And when you finish signing off the loan, they'll tell you that you have to pay a processing fee for the loan. Usually, depends on the value of the car. So let's say you were buying a car for like, say 2 million, you'd pay like $50,000. So now you're borrowing like 15 million from the bank or 25 million or whatever. You know the amount is going to be calculated based on the value of the loan. So you're going to have to find quite a pretty penny out of your pocket. So, and that money you'll have to pay cash out of your pocket. So you don't want to leave yourself in a position. Remember at that time you can't get another loan, because you're now taking a loan for, let's say, 17 million. So you can't go run and say, oh, maybe just take a loan and pay the $500,000. You wouldn't want to put yourself in that position. Plus, taking another loan might affect this big mortgage loan that you're trying to get. Because remember that they are lending you based on what you're earning, what's on your pay stub, and for those of you who are self-employed, based on what your business is bringing in. So you don't want to play around with something like this. Make sure that if you plan to buy a house and if you are subscribed to my channel, if you're one of my subscribers, you should be saving money. So whether or not you see the property that you want, whether or not you see the parcel of land that you want, whether or not you know if it's an apartment, townhouse, bungalow, flat that you want, you should be saving, because the process of acquiring property can be expensive for regular people, like if you're not wealthy already. So if you're wealthy already, then you can play around. If you know you're never born rich, you don't come from a rich family, you have a regular job, and you're trying to do something, make something of your life, now is the time for you to really start saving and investing. Let me jump back in the comment section and see what you are saying. So Lee Henry says, much appreciated there. You're welcome. Lorraine says, everything is good and clear. Okay. Weavani, is that the pronunciation? Says, could you please explain about buying a house from Gore Construction? All right, Miss Thomas. So what Gore does, Gore sells houses pre-construction usually. So what you do, if you want to buy a house from Gore, you would sign up with them. So what they do, they add you to a mailing list so that when construction projects are coming out, they can tell you that, hey, we'll have something coming up, so now is your time to shine. Or sometimes they'll send you a message or an email to say that you've been selected for one of these properties. So now you are literally just there waiting until a property becomes available for you to purchase. So you need to be saving up your money. So if you want to buy through Gore, if you like their developments, just go to Gore Ask them to sign you up, or you can sign up yourself, and then they'll add you to a mailing list, and they'll send you mails when properties are close to completion or when they're going to do pre-construction. Because remember, some persons are selling houses pre-construction, and that's the best time to buy, because of course you'll get a lower price with an escalation, because sometimes the prices go up by like 15% of what you initially were told. But basically, that's how you do it in a nutshell. If you want more information on that, just call Gore in the morning and ask them how you can sign up for one of their properties or to be added to their mailing list if you haven't done that already. I see Janelle saying that I missed her question up at the top. Janelle, I'm going to try and scroll back, but can you just ask the question again so I can find it as I go down, please? So I see Yvonne. Well, I feel like I was calling Yvonne Yvette at one point. I see Yvonne asking, how long is the process when purchasing cash? All right, generally speaking, Yvonne, when you sign a sale agreement, which means you and the person who is selling the house, who is usually called the vendor, so you are the purchaser and the person who is selling is the vendor. When the vendor and you come together with the attorney and decide to sign the sale agreement, you usually have either 90 or 120 days to finalize the sale, meaning key for handover within that period. So for cash purchases though, it usually takes a little less time, because when you go into the bank, it can take 90 days. So for cash purchases, it usually a little quicker. So you'll find that that process could be wrapped up within probably, let's say, 2 months. Yeah, so about that time period. And you know that it can take longer or it can take less time depending on the preparation of both you and the vendor, which is why your attorney normally tells you, get your ducks in a row quickly if it is that you are going to buy real estate, so that when the time and opportunity comes for you to get things done, you can get it done quickly. Because, for example, the bank will need a couple documents from you. So your attorney should be putting these documents together prior to you even signing the sale agreement, so that once the sale agreement is signed, you can be going like that and getting the process done quickly, so you're not holding up the bank, you're not holding up the attorney, you're not holding up the vendors. So I would say about 2 months if you're buying cash, Yvonne. Mikey T said, hold on. Mikey T said, a good point to make also is to ensure when buying a house, persons should take into account their monthly mortgage after paying all those fees to acquire it rather. So money management is crucial. Yeah, definitely. So after you finish buying a house, if you don't have a lot of money left, you're going to be in a position where you're going to have to really exercise financial discipline. And that is the reason why on my channel, I don't just talk about real estate and I don't just talk about finances, I talk about them together. I see Nayoka Walker has just joined. Good evening, Nayoka. Thanks for joining. By the way, guys, if you're watching but you have not subscribed, please go ahead and subscribe to my channel. If you have been watching also but you haven't clicked the thumbs up, go ahead and click the thumbs up. The reason why I want you to do that, it's good for my algorithm, and that tells me what you guys like, so I can know what type of videos to do or what you want to talk about during my live. Also, I want you guys to follow me on Instagram. It's the same as this username, Kayla full stop K full stop Keane. So you can screenshot my YouTube page because it's the same as my Instagram and TikTok. So go ahead and follow me. And the reason why I want you guys to do that is, for example, during this week, I'm going to ask you guys on Instagram, what are the things that you want me to answer? And then I'll try to answer them while I go live. So if you don't get to come on live, for example, you can watch it back to hear the answer to your question. Janelle says, if you're buying a house on the open market, would NHT give you the down payment and lawyer fee? All right, Janelle, thanks for asking that question. So if you're buying a house on the open market, NHT will give you the down payment, but they will not give you the lawyer fee. Your lawyer fee is a part of your closing costs, really, and that's something that you'll have to pay out of your pocket. So The lawyer fee is usually calculated based on the cost of the property. I think it's usually like maybe about 4% of the cost of the property. So you can do that calculation. That's why it's important, guys, for you to get your pre-approval letter so you can know what you qualify for. And as such, if you know what you qualify for, then you can have a good idea of how much money you will be paying your lawyer and all of the other things that you have to pay. All right. I think I see some more questions, so let me just check. Allison is asking, do you have any information on Camelot Village Phase 5 in Discovery Bay? All right, for that, Allison, I'd have to check on that. Currently, no, I haven't been following up on that, but I'll check that out for you. So I'll provide an answer during the week. What I'm going to start doing is posting to my IG story. So the things that you guys wanted to ask but I never got to answer, I can answer them on my IG story or in my community section here on YouTube. But I find that it's easier to do it on Instagram. So just follow me on Instagram, guys. Okay? Kayla.K.Keane. Same as my YouTube name. Dion Plummer is asking, hi, good night. I'm overseas looking for a home in the future. What do I need to have? Thanks. All right. Dion, so you're overseas, you're looking for a home in Jamaica. What do you need to have? All right. So firstly, Dion, for persons who are living abroad, who are interested in purchasing property, first of all, Dion, are you a Jamaican? Do you have Jamaican citizenship, or are you another, or is your citizenship with another country? So let me know if you're Jamaican, whether by birth or parentage. So if you are Jamaican, whether by birth or parentage, you have access to the NHT similar to those of us who are living in Jamaica, right? So what you would have to do to benefit from the $6.5 million that NHT can loan you is you need to be contributing for at least 2 years consecutive, right? So for Jamaicans living in Jamaica, you only need to be contributing to the NHT for a year to benefit from the NHT. But if you're living abroad, you need to be doing so for 2 years. First thing first. Secondly, so what you need to do, you can look for the, okay, you're Jamaican, awesome. So you see, for you, you're living abroad, so it's still 2 years for you, and you're good to go. You will be able to access your $6.5 million that the NHT gives. So the first thing now, sort out the NHT part. Once you have done that, you need to reach out to a bank out here, and then if you're planning to take the loan here, if you're planning to take it abroad, just reach out to the bank of your choice and find out what is your pre-qualification. So when you tell them that you want a mortgage and you need to do your pre-qualification, hi Nayoka Walker, hi Nayoka. She says good evening. Yeah, so what you need to do is choose the bank and then ask them about your pre-qualification. They'll tell you the documents that you need. You gather the documents. Once you do that, then they will send you back a document with a figure of what you can afford. Now, guys, this is for everybody who is watching now, not just the person who asked. If it is that you plan to buy a house, you have to know what you pre-qualify for, so that when you get a realtor, for example, to help you to look, or if you start searching for properties by yourself, you're not looking for something that you cannot afford. Because, for example, there is no point in looking at properties that cost $30 million if the bank says that they will only lend you $15 million. So when you add that $15 million to the portion that the NHC will give you, it must add up to what the bank says that you are qualified for. Because unless you have the rest of the money cash, that is the only way to get around that, right? So that's how you will do that. So that's to answer your question. So once you have the pre-qualification amount now, you can go ahead and get a realtor to help you look, or you can look at places like my channel, for example, where you see houses and you say, all right, this one is for that amount. So now you can check out the property because you know what you qualify for. Basically, that's it. Lastly, what you need to be doing is saving aggressively and investing aggressively. But I would say more of saving, reason being, when you're buying a property, you need to have cash that can be liquidated quickly. If you don't understand what liquidated means, it means money that you can get as cash very quickly. So for example, if you have stocks, you know how stocks stay. Some of them you cannot just pull out, or bonds. A bond might be for 5 years, 2 years, it might be a long-term investment. So you want to do short-term investments that you can access quickly, all right? So once you do that and you see a property that you like and you need to pay your closing costs and all of that, you'll be able to access some money quickly to sort it out, all right? Who was that? That was Dion. Dion, I hope that answered your question. If you have more questions, feel free to go ahead and ask them. And if there was anything that I wasn't very clear on, I will go over it just to ensure that you understand, all right? All right, so I see Kayan asking another question, and she's asking for my opinion. Do you prefer building or buying a home? All right, Kayan, that's a very interesting question and a very important question that you just asked. So buying and building a home, both of them have their both of them have advantages and disadvantages. So let's talk about it. So whether you buy or build will depend on a few things. One, how much money you have. Two, your tolerance for conducting or monitoring or having a project. Property, it's literally a project. Somebody was calling me. Sorry about that. Right, it's literally a project. So if you are the type